Hi there, hope you're doing well today, and welcome back to Valheim. This is episode 22, and today we're going to do some decorating and building. I'd like to change up the decorations around Firereach because I've still got all the Yuletide stuff up, and now I have a bunch more materials from the mountains to work with. And after that, I also plan on finally tackling this section of my path here. This area is long overdue for a little attention, so I'm going to give it that today. I also have some plans for a new structure going somewhere over in the farming section over here, but we can get to that a little later. Because the first thing I want to tackle today is running around Firereach here and dismantling all of the Yuletide decorations I've got hanging around. Let's see, here in the Lizard's Thumb, got a bunch of stuff I can dismantle. It is a bit of a bummer dismantling all of this, but I think it'll all look a lot more logical, I guess, in the end. I think I'll keep this banner up for now. I kind of like it. Anything in here? Oh, one little box. And of course, my house. Let's see. I want to keep at least one of these decorations in here just for the comfort level. I think it's got to be this. Goodbye, tree. I'll see you again in a few months. It's so depressing in here now. But with all of it gone, I can get started on putting in some new decorations. For now, I'm gonna just start on what I know I'm going to want, and that is to upgrade my bedroom a little bit. I'm thinking big bed. Just like that. Oh, dude, that is awesome. That's so cool. And I was also thinking about putting in one of these bear rugs, but I'm not really sure where it would fit best, because I could put it here, but then it's all clipping through the wall. I could have it at an angle, but that seems horrifying. Bear face in my face right when I walk up the stairs. You know what? What if instead I put in a nice big red jute carpet? Oh, it's beautiful. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. Alright, let's see here. Red jute carpet. I think I would probably prefer this centered to the room. So maybe right around there. Does that seem right? What the heck? Yeah, I think that looks really nice. I like the floor coverage with all of that put in. Now I've just got to replace my little nightstand thing here. There we go. That looks perfect. With these little changes to the bedroom, I think it does look a lot better, but I didn't really add too much. So I was thinking, what if I had a little armor stand in this corner and populated it with my old armor set? It's backwards. Hold on a second. No, not my hammer. You know, I'm realizing now it has an arrow pointing the direction it faces, and I'm just a fool, I suppose. Anyway, armor and shield. Yeah, that looks really nice. Oh, God, look at the sun coming through, hitting the jute carpet. God, that's beautiful. I think that spices up my bedroom a good bit here. I would like to add some more, but I don't really know what else to add at the moment. If I come up with anything else, I'll throw it in here somewhere. But moving on. Down here in the main room is a very interesting place because there's not really much that I can add here that fits in the space. I was thinking about adding one of these raven thrones somewhere, but like, where would that go other than this corner or this wall with the way that I have things set up right now? I could rearrange things, but how? What if I moved this table into this corner and put something against this wall here instead? I think that would make a lot more sense than putting something in this corner, just because this feels a lot more central to the room and not kind of just shoved off into the side. Maybe around there? Yeah, you know what? I think that actually works really well. I do like this a little more, actually. Now, does this fit good here is my next question. I think it does look pretty cool. It just feels a little out of place, doesn't it? If I put it in the corner, feels a little better. I look cool on it. That's for sure. Maybe I need to spice up the room a little bit. Hold on. Let me first off put another new carpet in because I love this carpet. Yeah, that looks good. Then I could just move the deer rug into here. Another thing I wanted to add was these Fey lights. I love the idea of having them hung next to my Yuletide garland here. Like, that's really cool. I like that a lot. And how does this flower garland look as well? Maybe I could go ahead and put the flower garland right above the door, like that. Or would that go on the outside, actually? Hold on. I like that, yeah. I think this is pretty good. I quite like this little area now. The rug, God, the rug really helps. I love these red jute rugs. Actually, speaking of red jute, another idea that I had is what if I hung up these curtains in the doorway, something like that. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, and they have physics. I think that looks really nice. It adds such a nice little separation between the two rooms. And honestly, with all of the weird clipping textures in this game to begin with, I don't think I'll really ever care to notice that. In here feels a tad bit empty now. I do like that there's something over on this side of the room, though. Is there anything I could add over here that would make this feel a bit more full, I guess? I think I'm gonna just throw at least a barrel back here. And maybe a little something back here. I kind of like that. It feels like I just have a couple extra things that I threw into the corner. And it fills it up nicely. I will say, one place I feel like this game is lacking just a little bit is wall decorations. I think a really easy one would be to make deer rugs, or I guess any of the rugs really. You should be able to hang them on walls. I think that'd fit very well. Alright, well, with my house done, I think I should probably look into adding a couple decorations elsewhere in Firereach. That was kind of the plan for today. I think one thing I'd like to add somewhere around here is the maypole. I don't know exactly where it would belong. Maybe somewhere, like, maybe right in here? Like that? Is this the way it's supposed to be oriented? I can't really tell, but I do like that. I'm just not sure if it belongs in the town center. What if I put it right out here? Would that look nice? Aw. You know, I think I'll leave this up here right now, and maybe I'll come up with another place to put it as I'm running around here building. For now, I think that looks nice, though. And while we're next to the inn, the one big decoration that I want to add in here is, of course, the jute rug. I think it makes the most sense up here. That is really nice. I do like that. I also wanted to add these new garlands somewhere in here. But where would be a good fit? Oh, this would be a good spot for one. Maybe with the fairy lights? I don't know, but those fey lights look really good there. I like that a lot. Oh, they give off light. Oh, that's so nice looking. I like the little orange, really. I like the little blue accent that it gives on that wood there. It's neat. As for the flower garland, what if I hung one up? I hate how it's just a little bit wider than 2 blocks. It really bugs me. Actually, I could just fit it here. Actually, hold on. What if right? Yeah, I like that. That's nice. I think these couple little additions fill out the place nicely. A little while ago when I was building this inn, I said that I was going to keep this little section clear for something later on, and what I was planning for it is a little dartboard of sorts. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Alright, well, there's a couple extra decorations added to the inn. Let us keep moving. Butcher can get some fey lights. I'm honestly tempted to add these fey lights pretty much everywhere. Yeah, that looks really neat. I like that. I think that's all this place really needs. And now for the town center. I think I would love to put a bunch of these flower garlands on each entrance here. Maybe if I go ahead and place this up top? Does it need to be placed on a wall? Oh, it literally does. That's so silly. Okay. What if I try to trick it? Place it on a wall like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That looks really, really nice. I like that. Now I just have to do that on all of these. I think that's a really nice little entrance into the town center. I like that a lot. I would love to put some fairy lights somewhere in here as well. Maybe they go with the flower garlands? You know, I like that a lot, actually. Let's see how that looks on all of them. I think that's really cool. I like these little entrances into the town center now. It's really dark. Hold on. I just realized I don't get cold anymore, so I don't really notice when it's night. This even looks good in the daytime, too. God, that's awesome. Anyway, I think that's enough decorations spread around Firereach. And with all of the decorating complete, it's time to start my next big project, the barn. I've been wanting to put a barn in Firereach for a good while now, mostly to store the farming equipment that isn't in a tiny little shed off to the side of the farmer's house. I've got a bunch of wood here, and I've decided that the location for this barn will be right in this section here. This structure is quite the big one. As usual, here are the floor plans for it. The main big section will be a very traditional barn. I'm thinking a 4x6 for this would be a good dimension, but I'll see how that looks once it's actually in place. The little room off to the right will be a small storage shed for the tools and seeds, similar to what I have at the farmer's house right now, actually. And the block sticking off on the left is going to be a stables, because I plan to, with this barn, make a little fenced-in pen for boars. I have for some reason not tamed any boars yet, and especially with the butcher shop and the tanner being in, I think it would be cool to have some animals in Firereach just to make those two structures feel a bit more integrated. So, as usual, let's start out by leveling out the ground and putting in the main floor plan. Now, is that a good placement for this structure? I actually don't think I love it exactly here. Hold on, let me try replacing this very quickly. Now, what if I had it like that? Yeah, I think I like this placement a lot more. I feel like the angle of it is also better. I think it just rounds out this whole section. It's almost like you're following a curve along the farmland. I think the only adjustment I would make is that I might scoot this forward just a little bit. I realize I don't know why I'm doing this with floors. Pretty much none of this is going to be floored. So now it's time to completely get rid of all this flooring and start building in the frame. Alright, and here's the frame up for the ground floor. Let's see what this looks like from a distance. I might actually be able to get an idea of what the structure will look like now. Yeah, that's cool. That's a really good spot for it too. Alright, well, I'm going to start construction on the second story now. I'm thinking the stairs for this place are probably just going to be very simple right on the right side here. Just a double stair up. And like I said, this is just going to be a very traditional barn, so I'm going to put a little level right up here. Like that. And now I can get started on the second story frame. This one's just going to go up one tile, and then I'm going to start with the roof shaping. Now, is that too much of a pitch for a barn? Yeah, I need to go shallower a little sooner there. A lot better. Definitely, it does look interesting with the shape from the front, but I think it looks pretty good. Actually, hold on, let me try something. If I actually do the opposite of that little thing, what if I go in at the end? Like that. Oh yeah, that overhang profile is already a lot smoother. It's a lot better. And so is the rest of it. That's actually nice. I like that. Okay. I really like this shape, so I'm just going to extend the roof and see what it looks like with the whole length in place. Oh, that's a nice shape, actually. That's like a perfect size for this barn. Wow, that looks good. Alright, time for the walls. Alright, I think that does it for pretty much all of the walls put in, which means it's time to put in the roof. I was really hoping adding the whole roof would fix the structural integrity. It did not. I'm thinking the best way to fix it would be to add some angled supports from inside. Something like this, going all the way up through the top. Put some centers on there like that. That helps even out the shape a bit, which I like from the inside. It looks really nice. Well, it seems to all be holding enough for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and trust that for the time being and continue work on these walls here. I still need to fill in all of this. Alright, so I went ahead and filled this wall in, and that looks really nice. I love the big window. Very classic barn look. It's looking beautiful. I'm actually a little curious about how I feel about how many cross pitches there are in here. Actually, especially considering that they're all off from how these ones are, because that's a smaller intersection. A lot of thinking on this one. It's a lot more complex than I was initially hoping it would be. Not that that's really a problem, it just causes a little more friction than I was expecting, I guess is a better way to put it. Oh, wait a second. If I use the steep roofs there, like that, it creates a much less noticeable pitch. That's quite nice, actually. I'm thinking I like that. Because then if I match it with this, and then put another steep one like that, creates a really nice little banding there. I think I want to add some supports on the back end here like this, to help support the roof a little bit more, hopefully. I think it also does look kind of nice. Especially if we consider that this will not be here. I like the little separation there. It does add a little bit of structural stability, not a whole ton, but I'm kind of just getting what I can at the moment. Alright, I'm just gonna hope and pray that the structure holds and start adding on the finishing details. I might do that instead. Yep. Yeah, doing that. Okay. And that does it for the main barn structure. Oh my god, that looks really nice. Yeah. No, that's great. That is great. It's so, like, readable from this position, too. Alright, so I went ahead and finished up the stables and put doors in, and I am in love with this shape. From the front profile especially, it really does get the message across. It gets that shape down pretty much perfectly. In case you can't tell, I'm very happy with this. Wow, what a great addition. I will say, especially looking out from the front of my house, I love all the depth of this place. It doesn't feel too crowded because everything is spaced out enough to where the atmosphere naturally breaks them apart from each other, which I think works very, very well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and step away from this barn just for a little bit because I have another little project that I want to work on. And that is doing up pretty much all of the path work from here over to the front of the inn. This entire section here I think needs to be reworked just a little bit. So let me kind of run through my plans for this whole section quickly. I think this area here needs to be expanded a little bit. I think I'm going to push this in just a bit more so I could have room for all of these upgrades as well as maybe a second kiln. Then with this kiln at least pushed aside a little bit, I can have a couple stairs leading up to a path that connects back around over to here. Then from over here, I could just have a path going straight up to the lumber mill. And for this whole messy rock wall section here, I'm thinking I'm just going to add a wall pretty much going straight across. Anyway, I hope some bit of that made some sense. I'm going to get started on working on this now, and I think the best way to do that would be to start by expanding the kiln area here. Step number one is probably going to be moving these to a place where they don't look disgusting. I hate how none of these work together for some reason. It's so weird. It really is a shame. Anyway, those are pushed aside. Let me go ahead and grab my Stirling cores. I can at least put in one of the charcoal kilns. Looks like I might need to push that back just a little more. Why doesn't that work? Let me see it from back here. Like that, maybe? Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Okay. That actually nests into this little section back here really well. I like that. And then I'm hoping I can just squeeze another one in kind of right there. I need more room. Okay. There we go. That's kind of what I was thinking for that area. I like how that actually opens up a lot more too. It feels a lot less jam-packed, crowded into that little tiny section. Yeah, that's so cool. That looks so much better. Okay. So now I'm kind of thinking that I want to shoot off of this stair, maybe like that, and then put the stairs going up right here. This is a tricky one. Okay, so it has been way too long. I don't know why this specific section really got me, but I did a lot of thinking and a lot of iteration, and I figured that it was a bit redundant to have a staircase that turns into two staircases that then turn into two other staircases that meet back up. So I decided to simplify things, and this is where I landed. I think that this looks a lot nicer. It's a lot more interesting, and I like the variation in height here a lot more. I was messing around before and it was just kind of a flat level, and it made this whole section look like one contiguous piece. But as you can see now, it looks very broken up. Everything looks like it's on a different level and it's varied, which is awesome. Certainly a lot better than it was. But overall, I am very content with these changes. I think this looks really nice. This took me longer than I'd like to admit, so I won't. Anyways, here is the completed path. This part went a lot smoother than the other bits. I went ahead and added a border around the whole path as well as a trail up to the lumberyard. But yeah, that should pretty much complete this section of the path, finally. I really like the shape of it here. Creates a lot of shadow, which I like, a lot of depth, and the overall flow of it just feels a lot smoother. Another little thing I was considering adding was maybe a little outdoor kind of seating area somewhere over here. Yeah, what if I down a little table right there and one right here like that? I'm thinking a bench on this wall. And then maybe a chair back here somewhere. One back here for sure. This one can be tucked in though. A stool. Perfect. And then one more chair. I'm thinking tucked in as well. Something like that. Oh, I just had a good idea. What if I tuck some stools under here? That's kind of neat. I like that. I could technically still sit in this, but why would I? That's insane. One more chair that somebody didn't care to push back in. I think that's cool. Nice little outdoor seating area. I think another thing I'd like to do while I'm around is adding some stone just up by the entrance here quickly. Luckily not too difficult. Then I can grassify the rest here. God, that looks good. And while I'm here, I'm gonna just go ahead and fix up these stairs quickly. It is as simple as that. And you know what? For now, I think that that should pretty much complete the changes I wanted to make to this path up here. I really like this outdoor seating area. I think that's really nice. And with the path work done up here, the next thing I want to get started on is the interiors for both the new barn, as well as finally doing the interior for the farmhouse over there. Before I get started on that, I'm actually going to go over to Haldor quickly and buy a couple more barrel rings. Haldor, good to see you, my friend. Halstein. 9 more barrel hoops. I'm gonna buy a couple more. And I think I actually want to buy one of these Ymir flesh, finally, just to see what it can craft me. Frostnir. Cool hammer. Thank you, Haldor. I will see you later. Don't die out there. I'll certainly try not to. Alright, so here I am at the farmhouse with probably all of the decoration stuff I should need here. I'm going to get started by fixing up the layout on the inside, adding some separate rooms and sections or whatever, and then I'll come in with the decorations after. I'm thinking that the bottom floor stays pretty much as is, but I want to add a loft somewhere up in this section here. What is the best way to go about that? Because this is a very, very small area to work with. Like, how do I work getting up there in a way that makes sense? You know what? I think I just like the idea of keeping the loft up here as is, and then maybe just putting a ladder somewhere else in this build to at least make it make sense with how they get up there. So I'll add some decorations up there in a little bit. For now, I want to work down here, and I think the first thing I want to do is turn this area into a place where they might do some cooking. Actually, you know what? I think maybe for this type of lifestyle, would it make more sense to have a little campfire area maybe set out over here somewhere? Something like that right there. Hold on, let me fancy that up, see if that actually even works how I want it to. Let's say I add one of these log benches. Put a stool or two out here. And a chair back under this covering. I think that actually looks kind of nice. I was also thinking I could maybe put a stone bench down over here where maybe they prepare foods. That's pretty cool. I like that. I'm happy with that. I would just like to add a small little extra touch of, if I put an item stand right here and I grab a flint knife. I like that. That makes it look a lot more like a food prep bench. With that outside taken care of, all I really need to work on now is their bed and their storage situation. If I had a wall just right here like this, and then cut it back in, I think that this works. I think it will especially work actually if I put more ceilings there. Yeah, okay. I like that a lot more. Workbench, I think, stays right here. But I do want to scoot it over a bit, maybe. And then put in that ladder I was talking about. I could put it in something like that. But then the workbench is cut off. Unless I put it over here. Yeah, okay, I think that works. I'll scoot this back over to where it was, like that. I'll go ahead and put a chest underneath this to make it look like it's actually leaning up against something. Maybe an extra old chair as well. Could even put something on this to make it look like they really don't use it often. Maybe an old hammer. What the heck? Oh, change orientation. Whoa, okay. Yeah, I like that. I'll just flip this around somewhere like that. Yeah, that looks nice. Now I just have to build an actual way up for me to start putting decorations up here, which I don't think I really need too much. I think if anything, I'll probably just clutter this with stuff to make it look like it's a little busy. Like, I could have a little workbench up against this wall. Definitely a chest or two in the back here. Absolutely a couple barrels. I think I actually want one barrel right up front. What if I did a little trick here? God, it's tight working in here. Okay. And then build the barrel. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe I can actually scoot this forward a bit so it's just a little more visible. Yeah, that looks a lot better. You can actually kind of see it now. One last thing I need to do in here is just add a candle somewhere. Add a torchlight, which I think I'll just go ahead and put that right there. Move this one, and I think we're set in here, really. Actually, this corner's missing a little something, but what is that something? Maybe just a little table in here for themselves. Oh, with another candle light on it, actually. That'll help the lighting in this room. Okay, this door is going to swing into the chair. Yeah. Alright, this chair will be pushed in because the door swings into it. Then I could go ahead and put one right here. That'll work. And maybe another one of these stools pushed under the table like that. That's a little interesting. The piece that I used for the barrel is sticking through, but I think it's fine. I think that should pretty much do it for this place. I quite like this interior. It's very tight, it's very compact, I'll say that, but I think it turned out pretty nice. I really like the cluttered upstairs. I think that looks cool. This whole area actually feels a lot more cozy now, just with the addition of that little fire pit there. Alright, now I get to move on to the barn, which I actually don't really expect to need too much. I actually just realized I'm a fool. I forgot to put the mounts up. So, of course, the bear mount has to go front and center. This guy's very proud of the bear he killed to defend his land. That makes a lot of sense. I'm thinking one in the bedroom, probably. Maybe right up here. And do I need one more? Because I could put a deer up somewhere. Maybe right here, actually. I think that looks good. Nice. Alright. Now, that should do it for the farmer's house. And now it is barn time. Like I said, the barn probably doesn't really need too much. I can't imagine adding much of anything in here, except maybe a wood pile or two. I'm thinking core wood pile right here. Like that. Maybe a stone pile right in the corner next to it, somewhere like that. And maybe a couple spare fences over here in this corner. Something like that. I like that little detail. It's kind of cool. I actually forgot I wanted to add fences out around this area. I don't know why I just jumped through there. I could have opened the door. Anyways, let's add that fence in now that I'm around. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice little fenced-in area. I think that does it for most of the barn. Definitely didn't need much. Still gotta add some storage back here. Hold on. think that should be good. I think that's plenty of space here. Go ahead and put the seeds down in here, and we are good to go. And that should do it for the barn. And now that I have the animal pen complete, I think it's time we go find some boars to tame. I believe there are some out in this field over here. So it has been quite a while since I've done this. I've got a bunch of carrots on me, which I believe the piggies like. But what I am going to do to help me out a little bit is just build a bigger pen out here that I can lure them into, trap them, and then migrate them into this pen once they are tamed. Something like that should be good, maybe? Let's try it. Let's go find some piggies. Oh, I think I heard one, maybe? There's one. Okay. Boar. Follow me. Deer, you can come too. There's one trapped. Now I'm thinking, what if I make a separate little cage for another one? And now I find another piggy. Any boars? I know there's a boar. Oh, there's one. Come on, piggy. Oh. Got a long ways to trail this guy back, but it should be fine. Come here. That's so stupid. I'm gonna just take this minute to regain my stamina, hopefully. Oh my god, he's so fast. Alright, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. You can do this, buddy. In here. There we go. Okay. Now I can break down these little walls here. Now I have 2 boars. Ow. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a bunch of carrots on the ground and go to sleep. I'll see how they're feeling in the morning, I guess. Day 264. Let's go check on these boars. Oh, there's a heart just came out of them. Oh, I'm getting some gray hearts. I think that means that it's working. Oh, he's not aggroed anymore. Okay. I'm just gonna back away and let them be. And actually, while I'm waiting for those boars to tame, I want to see what it'll take to make that butcher knife. There it is. 2 wood and 4 tin. I can do that. That's very easy, actually. And there we go. This thing can only hurt tamed animals, and it does 1 billion damage, which is awesome. I'm not sure how to tell when they're tamed, but I'm sure I will know. I guess I'll just keep on checking up on them. I guess while I wait, I'll just go farm resources. I could probably actually do with chopping that oak forest I planted. So I'm gonna get to that. Oh god. Close one. Alright, that is all of the oak trees chopped down. Now it's just time to dismantle all of these logs. Oh my god. Oh, are you kidding me? A log rolled 1,000,000 miles out. Oh, it's rolling back. Oh, thank you. No. Oh, it's so satisfying. I feel like I have a vacuum cleaner. I'm like a little Roomba. Alright, so from that, I didn't really count how many trees that was, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stacks and 18 of fine wood. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 stacks and 29 of normal wood. And while I've got my cultivator on me, I'll plant back these seeds. I unfortunately only got 10, 11. I thought they came in bunches of 2. Guess not. So I guess I'm planting 11 saplings. And there we are. Made it back home. I'm just gonna fill up my chests with however much of this wood that I can, and I will throw the rest into the lumber yard. Thankfully, I have a proper path up here now, so it's nice and easy. This really is so much better. Oh my god. I think the only thing that I need to do now is make an easy path up to the back of my house. Or I could just make a little desire path. Something like that. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Alright, well, it is now the next in-game day, as you can tell. And my boars are still taking their time to tame. So, you know what? I think I will leave off today's episode right here. It has been quite an eventful one. A lot of building done around here. I am in love with this barn, in case that wasn't abundantly clear. And I'm also very proud of the other additions I've made into Firereach. I really like all the new lights and garlands. Farmhouse interior went great, and of course this path actually makes a lot more sense now. Next episode, I'm going to make it my goal to explore around in my ship a little bit and hopefully find a new, bigger mountains. I would love to get enough silver to fully upgrade all of my gear. I want all of my stuff to be as good as it possibly can be. God, this view is so beautiful. Anyways, that'll definitely do it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.